Imagine a time long before Rome was an empire, a time when Italy was a vibrant mosaic of different peoples and cultures. It is here, in this ancient land, that our incredible story begins. The first silver coins to appear on the Italian peninsula were not Roman at all. They were brought by Greek colonists who settled in the south, in a region they called Magna Graecia, or, Greater Greece. Around the 6th century BC, cities like Sybaris, Croton, and Taranto began to mint their own unique silver coins. These were not just simple pieces of metal, they were declarations of identity, miniature billboards advertising the power and pride of their city. Each coin was a tiny masterpiece, struck by hand with incredible skill. These early coins, known as staters, were often made with a special technique called incus. This meant that the design on one side was raised, while the exact same design was pressed into the other side, creating a beautiful hollowed-out effect. Think of it like a stamp and its imprint perfectly matched. The silver from which they were made was precious, a symbol of wealth and a reliable medium for trade across the Mediterranean. A merchant from Sybaris could travel to another Greek city, and his silver stater, perhaps featuring a powerful bull, would be instantly recognized and accepted. It was a revolutionary concept that connected distant communities and laid the very foundation for a monetary economy in Italy. At the same time, in the central part of Italy, another mysterious and advanced civilization was flourishing: the Etruscans. While they are often overshadowed by the Romans who came after them, the Etruscans had a rich culture and were skilled metalworkers. They too understood the power of coinage. Inspired by their Greek neighbors, Etruscan cities like Populonia began to produce their own silver coins. These pieces were often rougher and more rustic than the elegant Greek staters, yet they hold a unique fascination. They might feature mythological creatures, like a gorgon with snakes for hair, or powerful animal symbols, each telling a small part of the story of this enigmatic people. The silver used for these first coins was not just a material, it was a promise. It guaranteed the value of the coin, a value backed by the issuing city's authority and prosperity. This was a world where trust was paramount, and a piece of silver stamped with the symbol of a powerful city was the ultimate sign of trust. These early Greek and Etruscan coins are the true ancestors of all Italian money. They represent the moment when value was first captured in a small gleaming disk of silver, a concept that would be adopted, perfected, and spread across the known world by the civilization that was just beginning to rise on the banks of the Tiber, Rome. As the small city-state of Rome began to expand its influence, it quickly realized the need for a standardized and reliable currency to pay its soldiers, build its infrastructure, and manage its growing territories. Around 211 BC, during the dark days of the Second Punic War against Hannibal, Rome introduced a coin that would change the course of history, the denarius. This was not just another coin, it was a statement of Roman power and resilience. Made of nearly pure silver, the denarius was destined to become the most famous and widely used silver coin in the ancient world, the backbone of the Roman economy for nearly 500 years. It was, honestly, the dollar or the euro of its time. The name denarius itself means containing 10, as it was originally valued at 10 bronze asses. On the front, or obverse, these early denarii almost always featured the helmeted head of Roma, the divine personification of the city of Rome, a powerful symbol of their collective identity. The back, or reverse, typically showed the Dioscuri, the mythical twin horsemen Castor and Pollux, charging into battle. This imagery was not accidental. It was carefully chosen propaganda, reminding everyone of Rome's divine favor and military might. Holding a denarius was like holding a small piece of Roman ideology in the palm of your hand, a constant reminder of who was in charge. As the Roman Republic grew, the design of the denarius began to evolve in a fascinating way. Powerful families and ambitious politicians, known as monnayers, were given the responsibility of overseeing the mint. They soon realized that coins were a perfect way to promote their own lineage and accomplishments. Instead of Roma, the coins started to feature portraits of their ancestors, or symbols representing great family victories. Julius Caesar was the first living Roman to dare to put his own portrait on the Denarius, a shocking break with tradition that declared him more than just a man, moving him towards the status of a king or a god. This act set a powerful precedent for the emperors who would follow. The denarius was more than just money. It was the engine of the Roman Republic. It paid the legions that conquered territories from Britain to Mesopotamia. It funded the construction of awe-inspiring aqueducts, roads, and temples. It allowed for trade on an unprecedented scale, with Roman silver coins being found as far away as India and China. The purity and consistent weight of the denarius made it the most trusted currency in the ancient world. For centuries, the rhythmic clang of the hammer striking silver blanks in the mints of Rome was the sound of an empire being built, one denarius at a time. This single silver coin was, in every sense, the heartbeat of Rome. With the rise of the Roman Empire under Emperor Augustus, the denarius entered a new phase. The coin, which had once celebrated the Republic and its great families, now became the primary tool for imperial propaganda. Every new emperor would immediately issue coins with his own portrait, and sometimes those of his wife and chosen heirs. These portraits were not just likenesses. They were idealized images projecting power, wisdom, or military strength. The reverse side of the coins would celebrate victories, public works, or the generosity of the emperor, carrying messages from the central government to the furthest corners of the empire. A farmer in Gaul or a merchant in Egypt would know who their emperor was simply by looking at the coins in their purse. However, this golden age of silver coinage was not to last. The vast Roman Empire was incredibly expensive to maintain. Endless wars, a sprawling bureaucracy, and lavish imperial spending put immense strain on the treasury. To meet these costs, emperors began to resort to a subtle but destructive practice: debasement. They started mixing the pure silver of the denarius with cheaper base metals like copper, while trying to maintain its official value. At first, the change was barely noticeable, but as decades passed, the silver content plummeted. By the middle of the 3rd century AD, the once proud denarius was little more than a bronze coin with a thin silver wash that would quickly wear off. This debasement had catastrophic consequences for the Roman economy. As people lost faith in the value of the coins, inflation spiraled out of control. Prices for everyday goods soared, and people's savings became worthless. Why accept a worthless coin for your goods when you could barter for something of real value? The monetary system that had held the empire together for centuries began to crumble. Emperors like Diocletian and Constantine tried to reform the currency, introducing new silver coins like the argenteus and later the siliqua. While these were initially of high purity, the underlying economic problems were too severe, and these reforms were only temporary fixes. The decline of Roman silver coinage is a mirror reflecting the decline of the empire itself. The once mighty denarius, which had started as a symbol of Roman strength and integrity, ended its life as a testament to economic desperation and political instability. The trust that had been the foundation of its success was gone. As the Western Roman Empire finally collapsed in the 5th century AD, the systematic production of silver coins in Italy ceased almost entirely. The gleaming silver that had once flowed through the veins of the empire faded, plunging Europe into a long monetary twilight known as the Dark Ages. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, Italy fractured into a patchwork of kingdoms ruled by Germanic tribes like the Ostrogoths and the Lombards. The sophisticated monetary system of Rome collapsed. Grand imperial mints fell silent, and the flow of new silver coins dwindled to a mere trickle. For several centuries, commerce reverted largely to bartering, or the use of old, worn-out Roman coins and rough imitations. Silver became incredibly scarce, hoarded as bullion rather than used as currency. This was a dark and uncertain time for coinage, a period where the standardized, state-guaranteed money that had defined the Roman world seemed like a distant memory from a lost golden age. The economic landscape of Italy during this period was fragmented and localized. The Byzantine Empire, the successor to the Eastern Roman Empire, maintained control over parts of southern Italy, and issued its own gold and bronze coins, but its influence was limited. The Lombard kings in the north attempted to mint their own coins, but these were often crude copies of Byzantine types and were produced in very small quantities. The concept of a widespread, unified silver currency simply did not exist. Trade was difficult, and economic growth stagnated. The absence of a reliable silver coin was both a symptom and a cause of the economic decline of the era. A glimmer of hope appeared at the end of the 8th century with the arrival of a powerful new force in Europe, Charlemagne, the king of the Franks. A visionary ruler, Charlemagne sought to reunify much of Western Europe and restore the order of the old Roman Empire. He understood that a stable economy required a stable currency. Around the year 794, he instituted a sweeping monetary reform, creating a new standard based on a silver coin called the denaro, a direct descendant of the old Roman denarius in name. This new coin was struck from a pound of pure silver, with 240 denarii being made from 1 Carolingian pound. This system, pounds, shillings, and pence, would dominate European finance for 1,000 years. Charlemagne's reform was a monumental step forward. His denarii, typically bearing a simple cross on one side and the king's monogram on the other, began to circulate widely, including in the northern parts of Italy that were now part of his vast empire. While these coins were much thinner and simpler than their Roman predecessors, they represented a crucial turning point. They re-established silver as the primary metal for coinage and reintroduced the concept of a standardized, trustworthy currency across a large territory. This Carolingian denaro planted the seeds for the incredible resurgence of silver coinage that would take place in the Italian city-states in the centuries to come. As the power of the Carolingian Empire faded, Italy once again fragmented. But this time, something new and dynamic emerged from the political chaos, the independent city-states. Cities like Venice, Genoa, Florence, and Milan grew into bustling centers of trade, banking, and craftsmanship. As their wealth and influence expanded, they needed a currency that reflected their newfound power. The small and thin Carolingian-style denaro was no longer sufficient for the large-scale commercial transactions that were now taking place. The time was ripe for a new silver coin, one that was larger, heavier, and more valuable. This need gave birth to the Grosso. Around the year 1200, Venice, the maritime superpower, introduced the Grosso d'Argento, or large silver coin. This magnificent coin was about the size of a modern euro and was struck in high-purity silver. It was, honestly, an instant success. On one side, it depicted the city's patron saint, Saint Mark, presenting a banner to the ruling Doge, a powerful image of divine approval for the Venetian government. On the other side sat a serene image of Christ enthroned. The Venetian Grosso became one of the most important trade coins of the Middle Ages, trusted and accepted throughout the Mediterranean and beyond. A testament to Venice's economic dominance. Inspired by Venice's success, other major Italian city-states soon began issuing their own grossi. Florence, a center of banking and the wool trade, introduced its Grosso Guelfo, often featuring its patron St. John the Baptist. Genoa, Venice's great maritime rival, minted its own Grosso, proudly displaying the city's gateway emblem. Each city used its coins to project its own unique identity and civic pride. The designs were becoming more sophisticated, moving beyond the simple crosses and monograms of the early medieval period. These coins were not just money, they were symbols of a city's independence and its place on the world stage. The introduction of the Grosso marked a major turning point in the history of European money. It was the first time in centuries that a large, high-value silver coin was produced in massive quantities, fueling the commercial revolution of the High Middle Ages. These coins facilitated international trade, allowed for the growth of complex banking systems, and helped pay for the magnificent cathedrals and civic buildings that still stand in Italy today. The silver Grosso of the Italian city-states was, really, the sound of a confident and prosperous Europe reawakening, its gleam illuminating the path out of the economic shadows of the Dark Ages. The Renaissance was a period of extraordinary cultural and artistic rebirth in Italy, and this revolution in art and thought found a spectacular expression on the small metal canvases of coins. As the 15th and 16th centuries unfolded, rulers of Italian states, from the Dukes of Milan and Ferrara to the popes in Rome, began to see their coinage as more than just a tool for commerce. They saw it as an opportunity for self-glorification and artistic expression. They began to commission the greatest artists of the day, including painters and sculptors, to design their coins. The coin, once a simple object of finance, was transformed into a miniature work of art, a portable sculpture meant to be admired. One of the most significant innovations of this period was the rise of realistic portraiture. Following the ancient Roman tradition, powerful rulers like Galeazzo Maria Sforza of Milan and Federico da Montefeltro of Urbino had their portraits struck on large silver coins called testoni, from the Italian word testa, meaning head. These were not the stylized, symbolic representations of the Middle Ages. They were lifelike, character-filled portraits that captured the individuality of the ruler. These coins were designed to convey majesty, intelligence, and power, circulating throughout their domains and beyond as a constant reminder of their magnificent and cultured leader. The reverse side of these Renaissance coins also became a space for complex and beautiful imagery. Instead of simple crosses or coats of arms, artists created intricate allegorical scenes, mythological figures, and elaborate emblems. A coin might feature Hercules performing one of his labors, a graceful depiction of the three graces, or a complex personal emblem of the ruler that was full of symbolic meaning. Artists like the legendary Benvenuto Cellini, who was a master goldsmith and sculptor, applied their immense talents to engraving coin dies. The level of detail and artistic quality achieved on these silver testoni and ducatoni was unprecedented, making them some of the most beautiful coins ever minted. This artistic flourishing was driven by the spirit of humanism, which placed a new emphasis on individual achievement and worldly fame. A beautifully crafted coin was seen as a way to achieve a kind of immortality, ensuring that the ruler's face and deeds would be remembered for centuries to come. These Renaissance coins were collected and admired even in their own time, valued not just for their silver content, but for their artistic merit. They set a new standard for coinage across Europe, demonstrating that an object of everyday use could also be a sublime piece of art, a perfect fusion of power, wealth, and beauty. From the 16th century onwards, much of Italy fell under the control of powerful foreign empires, dramatically changing its political and monetary landscape. The Spanish Habsburgs became the dominant force, ruling over the vast kingdom of Naples and Sicily in the south, as well as the Duchy of Milan in the north. With their control came their currency. The Spanish silver real, and especially the large 8 reales coin, known as the piece of 8, became a common currency in these territories. While local mints in Naples and Milan continued to operate, their coins, such as the silver ducato and carlino, were often minted to Spanish standards and featured the portrait of the Spanish king. This period was marked by a complex and often confusing monetary situation. In addition to Spanish-influenced coins, the silver currencies of other Italian states, like the Papal States, Venice, and Savoy, continued to circulate. A merchant traveling from Milan to Rome and then to Naples would have to navigate a bewildering array of different coins, weights, and values. The influence of the massive amounts of silver pouring into Spain from its mines in the Americas, at Potosi, in modern-day Bolivia, for example, was felt throughout Italy. This influx of silver led to periods of inflation and economic instability, as the sheer volume of new money disrupted traditional economies across Europe. In the 18th century, the dominant foreign power shifted from Spain to Austria. Following the War of the Spanish Succession, the Austrian Habsburgs gained control over Milan and later Tuscany. This brought another major European silver coin into circulation in Italy, the Maria Teresa thaler. This large, handsome silver coin, featuring the portrait of the powerful Empress Maria Theresa, was minted in enormous quantities and became one of the most trusted trade coins in the world. Its consistent weight and high silver purity made it incredibly popular, and its influence was felt strongly in the northern Italian economies under Austrian control. The final major foreign influence came with Napoleon Bonaparte at the turn of the 19th century. His conquests swept across Italy, creating new entities like the Kingdom of Italy and the Kingdom of Naples, both under French control. Napoleon, a great centralizer, sought to standardize the currency in his domains based on the French decimal system. He introduced the lira, a new currency equivalent to the French franc, which was divided into 100 centesimi. Silver coins of 1, 2, and 5 lire were minted, featuring Napoleon's portrait. Although his rule was brief, Napoleon's monetary system laid the crucial groundwork for the unified national currency that would be adopted by Italy a half-century later. The dream of a unified Italy, a single nation free from foreign rule and internal division, was finally realized in 1861 with the birth of the Kingdom of Italy. A new country needed a new national currency to bind its people together and fuel its modern economy. Building on the decimal system introduced by Napoleon, the government of King Victor Emmanuel II established the Italian lira as the official currency for the entire peninsula. For the first time, a citizen could travel from the Alps to Sicily using the very same coins. This unified currency was a powerful symbol of national identity, replacing the confusing jumble of ducats, thalers, and florins of the old states. The new kingdom began to mint a series of beautiful silver coins, most notably the 5 lira piece. This large, impressive coin, often referred to as a scudo, was the flagship of the new currency. It was minted to the standards of the Latin Monetary Union, an agreement between Italy, France, Belgium, and Switzerland to make their silver and gold coins interchangeable. This meant that a 5 lire coin from Italy had the exact same size, weight, and silver content as a 5-franc coin from France. On the obverse, these coins featured a dignified portrait of the king, first Victor Emmanuel II, then Umberto I, and finally Victor Emmanuel III, symbolizing the continuity of the new monarchy. The reverse designs of these silver lire coins were equally symbolic of the new nation. The most common design featured the coat of arms of the ruling House of Savoy, a simple shield with a cross, surrounded by the chain of the prestigious Order of the Annunziata, and wreathed in oak and laurel branches. This imagery represented the monarchy as the unifying force that had brought Italy together. The coins were minted in cities across the new kingdom, from Turin and Milan in the north to Rome and Naples in the south. Holding one of these heavy silver coins was like holding a piece of the Risorgimento, the heroic struggle for Italian unification. However, the era of silver as a circulating currency was already approaching its end. The economic pressures of the late 19th century and the immense costs of fighting World War I put a severe strain on government finances. Silver became more valuable as a raw material than as money. By the early 1920s, the Italian government, like many others in Europe, ceased minting silver coins for general circulation. The beautiful 5 lire scudi disappeared from people's pockets, hoarded for their precious metal content. The age of silver coinage as the workhorse of the Italian economy was over, giving way to cheaper nickel and other base metal alloys. The 20th century saw the definitive end of silver in everyday Italian money. The economic turmoil following World War I, the rise of fascism, and the immense devastation of World War II made precious metal coinage an unaffordable luxury. After the war, in 1946, Italy voted to become a republic, and the monarchy was abolished. The new Italian Republic issued new coins, but silver was reserved only for a few special issues. The most famous of these were the 500 lire coins, first issued in 1958. These were large, handsome coins, but unlike their 19th century predecessors, they were made of a lower purity silver alloy, 83.5% silver, and were intended to mark a moment of post-war economic recovery, the Italian economic miracle. These silver 500 lire coins, known as the caravelle, featured a Renaissance-style portrait of a woman on the obverse and the 3 caravels of Christopher Columbus on the reverse. They circulated for a time, but were quickly hoarded by the public as the price of silver rose. This hoarding demonstrated a fundamental truth. In the modern economy, silver's value as a commodity had permanently outstripped its value as a fixed denomination of currency. The government eventually replaced them with a bimetallic coin. The era of circulating silver in Italy, which had begun with the ancient Greeks, had quietly come to a definitive close after more than 2,500 years. With the introduction of the euro in 2002, the Italian lira passed into history. However, this did not mean the end of Italian silver coins. Instead, they entered a new and vibrant chapter. The Italian state mint, the Istituto Poligrafico e Zecca dello Stato in Rome, continues to strike a stunning variety of silver coins today. These are not meant for paying for groceries. They are non-circulating legal tender coins created specifically for collectors and investors. They celebrate every aspect of Italian culture, history, and art, from honoring Leonardo da Vinci and Dante Alighieri to commemorating famous Italian landmarks, artists, and scientific achievements. The journey of Italian silver coins is a magnificent thread woven through the entire tapestry of Western history. From the staters of Magna Graecia and the Denari of Rome to the Grossi of Venice and the Testoni of the Renaissance, these coins have been at the heart of economic, political, and artistic developments for millennia. Today, collecting Italian silver coins is a way to connect with this incredible legacy. Each coin is a tangible piece of history, a miniature artifact that tells a story of emperors, popes, artists, and nations. They are a testament to the enduring power and beauty of silver, and to Italy's unparalleled contribution to the story of money and art in our world.